Now that we're done with breakfast, let's move on to a healthy lunch.
Awesome. Okay, mini chefs. A healthy lunch is super important because it gives us the energy that we need for the rest of the day, our great after school activities, or anything that we're going to do later in the afternoon.
All right, Chef Nicole, let's start with a yummy veggie stir fry.
Love it. A veggie stir fry is a great way to get lots of color into our diets. These fruits and veggies that we have here on our cutting board have lots and lots of minerals and nutrients and pack tons of great flavor. So let's walk through our ingredients and then we'll get started. We're also going to do something really cool in this recipe called sautéing. Sautéing is a cooking technique that we're actually going to use the stove for, and it's a really great way to impress all your friends and family with some of your newfound chef skills. So our ingredients that we have, because we want to make sure that we have all of our ingredients and we've already read through our method and have all of the tools we need to execute this recipe. We have some sesame oil to start. Sesame oil is just a really cool flavored oil made from pressed sesame seeds. Just like olive oil is made from pressed olives, this is made from pressed sesame seeds. Those white or black little seeds that sometimes you find on rolls. Really, really great flavor. As soon as you start to cook with sesame oil, if you've ever eaten at any type of Asian restaurant or had any type of Asian cuisine, you'll really start to recognize that flavor. We also have some white onion. We're just going to go ahead and slice that up. We have sweet peppers here. And the yellow are typically the sweetest. Red is kind of a medium, and you can also use green peppers if that's what you have at home. We are also going to use some shredded carrots. I chose to use shredded carrots just because it's a little bit safer that way. Carrots can be really hard and sometimes difficult to cut, and we're all super busy, right? So let's try to make something a little bit quicker for us after school or when we get home. We're also going to have some nice fresh lime in this dish, and black pepper. This is just simple ground black table pepper. We have some cloves of garlic, and you can buy garlic in all different ways at the grocery store. This is actually what a garlic bulb looks like, and these are what the garlic cloves look like. So some with the skin off and some with the skin on. And you want to make sure that you store any of your garlic away from anything in your fridge or in a little container because it will make your oranges or anything else kind of smell garlicky. So just a quick tip there. And we also have minced garlic. This is actually packed in olive oil. You can also get it packed in water, so whatever you prefer. We also have some nice fresh broccoli, and these are considered broccoli crowns, and this is considered the broccoli floret, a little bit of a broccoli flower, if you will. And we're going to use some button mushrooms. If you like oyster mushrooms or cremini or anything that you got at home, totally use them. Portobellos are fine as well. It gives a nice, real earthy flavor to what we're going to do today. And we're also going to top our veggie stir fry that we're going to serve over brown rice. You can choose to use white rice or noodles or anything that you're into or that you have at home. We're going to top our delicious creation with some chow mein noodles. These guys are just basically fried little noodles. They're really crunchy and add a nice texture to our dish. So let's get started. Okay, we sliced up a couple of our mushrooms that we're going to use for this dish, and I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how we slice the rest of them up. Remember when we talked about the strawberries in our breakfast segment, we want to avoid these roly-poly guys. So what we're going to do is, just like with our strawberries, just go ahead and cut our mushrooms in half so we have a nice flat surface to work on. Keep your fingers nice and flat to help guide the knife, and just use your thumb way back here so that it never gets in our way. And I'm making sure that my knife gets clean each time so it doesn't confuse my eyes or my fingers. Okay, so these are our mushrooms, all nice and cut up. And if you don't care for mushrooms, you can totally leave them out, but I would suggest that we try something new. Okay, and then a second ingredient, broccoli florets. This is super easy. I'm going to go ahead and just pull these little guys apart. What you can do, this is a really cool thing if you have little brothers or sisters that you want to help you. This is a really great job for them. We can just go ahead and pull these broccoli florets apart, just like this. And while I finish that up, Chef Meg's going to demonstrate how to clean and cut our pepper and our white onion.
All right, so peppers are another one of those really yummy but really roly-polies. So following Chef Nicole's lead, I'm going to grab it from the top and use my knife to slice it right down the middle. And that's going to expose the little seed pods and what we call ribs. In order to clean this and get the most out of our vegetable, you're going to go ahead and grab that little seed pod and just pull it out. Not very much waste, and just set that on the side. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull the ribs, give them a little pinch, and just pull that white ribby part out. It's totally fine to eat it if you want. It just adds a different texture and it can get a little bit bitter.
And just a fun fact, the rib and the seeds in hot peppers, these are sweet peppers, but things like chilies and different types of hot peppers, all this kind of stuff here is actually where all the heat in those peppers are.
Yep. And if you, when you're pulling it apart, you knock some of those seeds loose, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and flip it over, tap it on your hand, and those seeds will come right out. Now, to keep working with a flat surface, you can either lay it on its back like this, a little bit rolly, or you can flip it over. When making a stir fry, you can use small dices or julienne. Today we're going to do a julienne. So I'm going to put it on its flat side, grab my knife with my thumb and forefinger holding it steady, and just give it a nice slice. You'll find that sometimes pepper skins are a little tough, and if your knife isn't quite sharp, you might want to flip it over and cut it from the inside. And make sure you keep those fingertips out of the way. All right. Add those to our bowl. We'll do the same with the yellow pepper, but right now I'm going to show you how to cut the onion. This is a tougher one to cut because there is no flat surface, so you might want to get mom or dad or an older brother or sister to help you. But you're going to, again, grab it and cut it right down the side, right down the middle. And then you'll see that where the stem comes in, you go to the opposite side and you can peel off the skin.
I'll help you, Chef May.
Sometimes it's a little tough. Sometimes there's a couple layers that have dried out. Just peel off to where it has a nice flesh. And then you're going to put the flat side down, cut off the end. You can go ahead and slice it thin. And then, fun little thing, those little things just pop right out.
Cool, looks awesome.
All right.
We are going to be using our sesame oil, soy sauce, garlic, and our black pepper. And we have our color wheel full of lots of yummy veggies. And we're going to go ahead and heat our pan to high. We want to heat our pan for a couple seconds. Then we're going to go ahead and add our sesame oil. And this is also one of those ingredients. You can use it as little or as much as you want. Just going to move our oil around the pan here, get it nice and hot. And then we're going to start with our onions and garlic, as these are considered aromatics. And they're going to help flavor the oil, which is going to help coat all of our veggies and flavor our entire dish. And I'm going to use a wooden spoon because this is a non-stick pan and it helps not scratch the pan up. Oh, we lost an onion. And to saute means high heat and quick movement all the time. So we never really want to leave our pan stagnant or not have our veggies moving around. And when you hear that popping, that's the liquid that's coming out of the onions. That kind of pops with the oil. I'm going to add some garlic at this point. Mix this all around. And the next vegetable I'm going to add is the broccoli, because the broccoli is the thickest vegetable we have here, or the most dense, I should say, and it takes the longest to cook. We want to get our onions and garlic nice and translucent, which basically just means we're cooking them down so they're nice and soft. And once our onions and garlic start to brown up a little bit, don't worry about it burning. We just got to start adding additional ingredients like our broccoli, because it'll actually cool down the temperature of the dish, of the pan, I'm sorry. Just keeping everything moving constantly. And so this is our veggie stir fry. If we were to add beef or flour chicken or anything like that, we would want to make sure that we're doing that. We're cooking our protein first and setting it aside, and then doing all of our veggies, and then adding your protein back so that you make sure everything's nice and cooked well, or your protein's cooked fully. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and add our carrots and our peppers. Peppers have a lot of liquid in them, so it'll continue to help cool down the pan so that nothing burns. And as you can see, this is really bright and colorful and just looks really appetizing. And everything's looking a little bit dry to me in the pan, so I'm going to go ahead and add just a touch more sesame oil. I'm going to add some nice fresh lime juice. Brighten the flavor up a little bit. Add our mushrooms. Gonna add a couple dashes of soy sauce. It comes out really slow, kind of drips. It's good control because this is really salty, so you don't want to add too much. Soy sauce is definitely one of those products that add a little bit, taste it, add a little bit more, taste it. Because if you add too much at once, then you kind of ruin your dish. So we just want to be smart while we're cooking. And you can always add the soy sauce as well when the dish is complete, in case somebody in your family or your friends don't like a real salty flavor. Okay, so this is looking great. I'm going to go ahead, now that our veggies are nice and seared, and just turn this to a medium-low. Just let that simmer. Get nice and cooked through. And we'll be ready to plate this on some nice brown rice.
Looks great. While Chef Nicole was teaching you to saute, I prepared our brown rice and sliced up our limes.
I'm just going to plate this up. Okay. I'm going to top it off. Little chow mein noodles for texture. Looks delish.
Ready to enjoy.
Let me know how you're doing. You can always find me at chefnicole.com or on Facebook. I'm always posting new recipes that you may want to try at home. See you in the kitchen.